Yeah, so this was the introduction. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? The next one, this is so people, we kind of like winged it, but we was all like still going according to the elements that we stated before.
Yes.
Um, nah, man, you ain't fuck up. I mean, it's probably good that you didn't do it because it wouldn't have came out like how it is now. You know what I'm saying? Because this one was a lot more freestyle, but we just made sure we stayed grounded with the four topics that we had, which is just an introduction.
Yeah.
Who we are, what's our story, where do we want to go, what's the point of productive place? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think we covered all that. So people have a full idea of what we're doing with
We're a beautiful little caterpillar becoming a butterfly.
You should have a greater fear of what will happen to you if you remain dependent on others for power. Your goal in every maneuver in life must be ownership. Work in the corner for yourself. When it's yours to lose. You're more motivated, more creative, more alive. The ultimate power in life is to be completely self-reliant, completely yourself.
I just feel that all I really need is myself. I'm the only one that's gonna be.
Hey there, just before we start this podcast episode, I wanted to just give you guys a quick understanding of how this went down. Essentially, we are two guys working normal jobs and we're trying to leave them. Due to this, we are putting all our time and energy into the things that matter to us. But we know that time is of the essence, and so it's hard to have different things scheduled around two different people's schedules. Now, he lives in the state of New York, and I live in the state of Illinois, so we also have that particular distance thing. So therefore, my partner Angel is calling me while he is at work. So any of the cuts or weird transitions, that's just due to us cutting out any of the unnecessary audio. So again, I hope you guys enjoy this episode and thank you for tuning in. Peace.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is productive. What's that? Hello, everyone. This is Productive Place. My name is Angel, and I'm with my partner Kyle here.
What's up?
What's happening, player? How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
I'm doing fine, mighty fine. Thanks for asking.
No problem. I'm glad we were able to figure out something to do for this podcast. For those who don't know, we were trying to figure out how we're going to set this all up. We were looking at a thing called Zoom, but unfortunately we have some technical difficulties, so we're just doing this over a phone call, so we will apologize in the audio quality. But aside from that, what are your thoughts so far on this whole experience, Angel?
This whole experience, I feel, has been very enlightening. It's something about this poll that we got going on. Like, ever since like the top of the year, and we've been game planning, and you've been putting up, and I've been putting up. It's like, step by step growth, and you feel me? It's like sort of a poll like keeps me from slacking off.
Yeah.
Which is in essence is what we're trying to do here with Productive Place.
And you know what? Those who don't know what Productive Place, let's start introducing ourselves. Angel, who are you? How would you introduce yourself?
Well, my name's Angel. I'm from New York. I reside in Brooklyn. I came from the business background. I realized that I really want to get into business for my own. I want to just give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Don, could you make sure we you say what we had so far, because that was really good.
Yeah. I'll just use, basically just say, hey, look, guys. Actually, you know what? Since this is still recording, basically, guys, even if there's issues or you don't like the quality of something, don't let any kind of excuse get in your way. So this is just an example of it.
So yeah, so I was to I have a business background, and I realized that I wanted to get into business for myself. I wanted to do business on my own. I just really felt like I just operated better that way. A lot of times, a lot of companies that I was working for, I felt like I was stagnant in my growth, and I just felt like being on my own, I would do better, be more happier. So I came across digital marketing. I really liked digital marketing. It was I studied it a lot. I actually went to the Philippines for it, and I learned a lot. And what I realized is that I needed a platform to practice what I learned. And it wasn't so easy because personally, I have a problem with bouncing around all over the place. Like I would have like 5 other things that I'm working on and nothing gets done, ultimately because my focus was too divided. So, and the main culprits of that, the main enemies when it comes to distraction is who else? Social media. You got your Facebook, you got your Instagram, you got your Snapchat, you got your, what else? TikTok now.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'm like, how can I, wouldn't it be nice for a place where it's just nothing but productive tips and content, and I don't know. I was actually trying to build a platform that could keep me productive in what I want to do. And boom, Productive Place was born. I got in touch with you, shared that idea with you. You helped me with the design, and shit was rolling from there. But it picked up more the beginning of the year. Tell me, what inspired you the beginning of this year?
Okay, so basically, how you were talking about like that, the platform that you were trying to build was to be productive, but when you pitched it to me, it seemed like it was to get everybody, well, to help other people as well to get productive, and it almost seemed like it was like regurgitated stuff that everybody else is doing out there on the marketplace. And I did not want to see one of my friends fall into this kind of pit trap. So like I tried to do my best to deconstruct this idea and make it a little bit more solid. But I kept having life issues myself, and I deal with depression a lot of times, so I'm always constantly battling the demons in my head. I'm battling the demons in real life, and I never understand where I'm going to be from time to time. I know that I am on the verge of either thinking of I'm going to be in jail or I'm going to be a free man. Now, in reality, I'm going to most likely be a free man. It's all it was a small like hit and run case thing, and I have my final court date, but I didn't do my public service hours in time, and I didn't pay my court fine fee, so I'm in the process of doing that. But in the process of like looking at my freedom, I'm sitting here going, all right, I have an issue as well with how I operate with my projects. And my projects is like, if I'm into it because I'm interested. I'm not fully committed to it. And I learned this really awesome phrase that goes like, basically goes, if you're committed, or are you interested or are you committed? Which basically just says that I need to really ask like deep down, do I really want to be doing this? So
Like, they want to be committed into something that they're not interested in.
yeah,
That sounds like torture.
yeah. So I was seeing some of the similar patterns with both you and I was just like, okay, dude, when do you want to launch this? And what can we do to get this off the ground? And every time we figure out like there might be a roadblock, I'm just trying to be there as a problem solver to figure out how can we get it operating as effectively as we can. And that's pretty much where that fire is coming from, because it's like a part of me is like fighting for freedom. Well, I mean, all of this is fighting for freedom, really.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's ultimately my goal, is freedom. I just feel like I operate better that way. I mean, I'm not in the typical 9 to 5 mindset. Like, I mean, there's some people for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but
I hate
me
the 9 to
personally,
5. I hate that 9 to 5, man.
Yeah, I mean, it works for some people, but me personally, I can't. And I don't mind working 24 hours around the clock if it's something that I'm interested in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's
I'm the
something
same.
like I could do it. But
I've literally dropped jobs because I just did not believe in their thing, and I'm just like, if this is not fun to me, I'm out. Like I'll give you a really interesting story real quick. One of my first jobs in the tech world, I guess, or in marketing and stuff, it was as I was a front end web developer for a real estate marketing company. And I was super happy about this job. It was my first web dev job. Actually, technically, it was my only web dev job, if I'm being honest. But what ended up happening is I learned a new programming language called Python, and I started to use that to automate my job. And essentially, I got to the point where I was sitting there so bored, I was letting the computer software do my job, that I was just like, I'm not having fun at this job, and I quit. I literally had it easy, man, and I said, no, I'm done, bye. Like, can you believe that?
like, boredom kills, man. That shit kills. And it's like a waste of your time. You're not challenging yourself. You're not growing. My thing is stagnancy, bro. Like, I cannot deal with keeping still at one place. I feel like the world's burning if I'm not growing. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the jobs that I came across, it was like, there wasn't any opportunity for growth, really.
So let me ask you this. Now that you say that you don't have like a lot of opportunity to grow in the past, with this project, where do you see the opportunity to go?
I see the possibilities is almost endless, bro. Like, just having what is this, a mechanism that keeps me accountable, and at the same time it's adding value to the company itself, and this company is just about keeping each other accountable. Like, you can go anywhere with that. You could grow anywhere with that,
Yeah.
So I feel like the sky's the limit, beyond the sky.
On that, the sky's the limit. For your personal side of things, outside of Productive Place, where's your personal sky? How far does that go?
How far does that go?
Yeah,
you know what? I heard one of my favorite guys on YouTube, Dan Pena, said one of his biggest fears is that he dreamed too big, and now he's super rich. And I'm like, damn, that is a good fear to have. Like, dreaming not big enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not dreaming big enough. So
I feel like a lot of people
really,
don't dream big enough.
right, like you really gotta. And then I heard of a quote that said, "If your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough." I'm like, damn, what dream would I want that's gonna scare me? It sounds like a nightmare.
I want to be a billionaire, but I mean that scares me. Maybe I'll hit that, right?
Yo, a
not
billion
with
is
not
shit.
with my current set of ethics. I
Huh?
need to be working much harder to get to that level.
Yeah, yeah. Gotta be working like a billionaire without the money right now, because the money will come as long as you keep yourself as a billionaire with the mindset. Then you know,
Yep, I definitely
the money
agree.
will come.
The mindset, but also
But
the hard work, and I think that's a big thing with the productive
mhm,
place. Um,
mhm,
for hard work, I've always basically dove into a project, and I would go and work on it very hard, I guess, and then I would get bored and stale and stagnant. And the reason why those things would happen are things of like comfort or not enough
mhm,
faith in myself or you see what the market would say. And if the
yeah,
market doesn't necessarily play nice with you and they decide to leave negative feedback, that makes you feel like shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's so many different variables, but eventually I kept quitting. And
Mhm,
I don't know, it's not so much I quit because I wanted to quit. I quit because I
mhm,
had to quit in most of my cases. I will also say that.
mhm,
Like in one of them, for example, like this might okay, from right one of my things that I want to get launched up is
mhm.
a new Minecraft server network. And
Right.
in my first Minecraft server network or server, it I quit my web development job to do that. And what
Right.
ended up happening is I wasn't bringing in enough income to pay the bills and stuff like that. My dad was seeing that I wasn't putting in any effort, and I eventually had to uh, leave his house, move out on my own, get a job, and enter into the real world. Like, I had to quit that because I had to do that. And I didn't necessarily have to quit it. I quit it, like, I didn't balance things properly. And
Mhm.
that's where this new whole mindset is now. It's like, if I want to go to where I want to go, I really need to put in that hard work.
Gotta put in the hard work, bro.
Yeah.
That is the must now. Which is why me and your partnership is like a perfect balance. Because, and I've read about this too. It's like there's the idea type and there's the how-to type. I don't know. I might be mistaken, but like your your flaw is my strength, and my flaw is your strength. You know what I'm saying?
It's the yin and
Like,
the yang, man.
yeah, the yin and yang, man. Like, I work hard, bro. I am a reputable, hard worker. Like, people complain to me about how hard I work. You know what I'm saying? You know, but my problem is I'm not working smart. You know, like I feel like the hamster running fast as hell on the wheel. You know what I'm saying? You're not going nowhere at all. So, you know, and which is another reason I'm not exactly sure what part of me is the problem with that, but like for instance, I will put in the legwork if somebody has a good idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would make it happen. You know, another reason why I love digital marketing is because you know I love to like spread the word and you know I love making things happen. But when it comes to like personal projects, um, I guess I'm not that great at strategy because um, I get overwhelmed with thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what paralyzes me from getting something done. you know?
Yeah. For me, for the paralysis, a lot of times it's not the strategy and like the many options of strategies out there. It's more on, okay, I know what strategy I want to apply, but then it's like, how long do I want to apply that strategy? So, for example, this strategy here, it's literally going to be document our progress. It's going to show our vulnerabilities. It's us talking about our goals every single week. And we're going to hold each other accountable. But this is on a public forum where now other random people can now weigh in onto what's going on. And they can call us out on bullshit. And they can be like, oh, you're doing things wrong this way or whatever. And we could choose to listen and we could choose to not. But that's neither here or there. The point is that this whole thing is that, like, the strategy is that it's going to be this intense emotional process in a sense, but also this hard work that we want to publicly show and prove to everybody that we can do. And that there is just, I don't know, I feel like it is the strategy, but it's like, how long do you want to apply that? And that's really where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I feel like, a lot of times, people don't like to show the work. People like to make it seem like it's easy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people love to make it seem like how they got to where they got to was easy, and you never really see the work that they have to do to get there, and it really leaves an impression to other people that, when they come across roadblocks and stuff like that and getting to where they want to get to, and they compare themselves to somebody on Instagram, you feel me, and they feel destroyed. They feel like, no, there's a whole lot of work that comes with it, and which is why I love the idea of Productive Places, because we're displaying it all, and momentarily you will see the growth,
Yeah.
little by little, step by step.
Yeah. You know how you were talking about, like, no one gets to see those struggles and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me that podcast, the MFCEO project, and in one of those I was listening to, they were talking about what's his name? How did I forget his name? I'm really bad with names as well, people. I suck with names on music, suck with names with people. I just have a bad memory. But the guy who played Han Solo. Fuck, I can't remember why I can't think of his name. Harrison Ford. There we go.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, okay. So in Harrison Ford's story, essentially he was told constantly that he was not going to make it as an actor. And he ended up going and working as a carpenter and like building things and stuff like that. And that was like his part-time job as he was trying to get into the industry. And eventually all his hard work and effort and persistence paid off, because George Lucas liked his attitude and stuff, and then casted him as Han Solo. And we don't get to see those kind of journeys. So if everybody was sitting on set looking at this one guy building this thing, they're probably judging them prematurely, going, oh, look at this guy, he's just not going to amount to nothing, he's just at a lower class job. But in reality he's grinding harder than any other fucker out there.
Right. Exactly. Like they didn't see that he's one of the most hardest working guys out there and shit. That's exactly the point. Yeah, there's several examples. There's like several examples on it takes the hard work, and that's another, like I said, like that's another reason why I think a lot of people would appreciate this podcast, is because they're seeing this company grow in real time solely by staying productive solely by keeping each other accountable and stuff like that. Every week we doing weekly check-ins. That's a spoiler, but you know, like that is the plan, is to just keep each other going towards our goal. Because I mean, we see it all the time, man. We so many people are woulda, coulda, shoulda been. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think a lot of that comes from, my opinion, on why people actually just gave up on their goals or their dream life is pride to ask for help.
Yeah. Well, speaking on that note, that's another thing that I wanted to create for the strategy of this project.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are we going to be held accountable for each other, but I would love it for you guys to keep us accountable. And if you guys go ahead and send us a message, let us know what kind of things you would like us to kind of help you stay accountable for. Maybe
Right.
you have some sort of, maybe like a weight loss goal. Maybe we can point to the right, like, cool different exercises or diets or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be touting ourselves as experts, because we're just people, average people trying to get to where we want to go. But
Exactly.
there is a lot of information out there on the internet, and I don't know if a lot of people know how to get to that information. I feel like I digest so much content on various different topics that I can actually build a good content curated system to point everybody in the right direction. So now that even though I might not have the answers for something, I can help you figure out how to get those answers. So if you are looking for something like that, please feel free to message us, because we want to help everybody. We want to be on top of everything.
Right. Right. You know, like Kyle said, you know, I'm just a guy who's trying to be the man. I'm talking like everything. I'm trying to conquer everything. I want to be the man physically. I want to be the man, well, health wise and business wise, wealth wise. I got a lot to accomplish. And as so should you. Everybody should have something to accomplish that they want, and we want to help. We want to help you get there. We want to help give you valuable information, or just ideas, and also something to relate with as well, because you're not alone.
You're definitely not.
If you ever feel like a failure, guess what? There is millions of people that feel like failures right now. Some people embody the failure mindset and just live that way. And we're not going to do that. We're going to keep pushing.
I somewhat embody the failure mindset. I embody it in the sense that failure is not necessarily bad if you are able to understand the lessons of that failure. If you're able to
rephrase that. Right. I meant, all right, so I'm going to use a different term, defeated.
Okay.
Defeated.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Failure, yeah.
I feel that.
We need failure. Yeah, we need failure in order to grow. Sort of like the gym analogy. You know what I'm saying? You're working out until your muscle fails. You know what I'm saying? And your body rejuvenates enough cells so you can get that one extra rep, and the next time you're stronger. You know what I'm saying? We need that. That applies with everything in life, almost.
Pretty much.
That applies with everything.
So what things would make you feel defeated? Like, if you at the end of your lifetime, if you didn't accomplish these things, what things would make you feel defeated if you didn't accomplish it? Am I saying that right? I hope I am. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I said a few things right.
Okay, my bad. Let me try it one more time. If at the end of your life, what things would you like to have accomplished? And if you don't have these accomplishments done, you're going to feel really defeated.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good ass question. So, what things would I regret? And you know what's funny? They say the last thing that's on your mind before you die is all your regrets. Um, being a business, being in business for myself, being able to support myself. Uh, I want to be a father. You know,
That's a good one.
31 years old, want to have a kid. Um, and I, how you doing? All right. All right. So to be deeper, to get real deep, we're getting deep here.
All right.
To show, I get to make my grandfather proud.
Okay.
You know,
What happened with that?
well, single mother. My mom raised me, single mother household. Um, in not the most fortunate areas and stuff like that. It was pretty tough coming up. So I wasn't expected to, to be much at all, really. I mean, with, which logically so when you don't have the support system around you and you have, you're in impoverished an impoverished environment, put two and two together, you're not gonna put your money on that kid. You know what I'm saying? So I get a high off of proving things wrong. You know what I'm saying? And my grandfather always was the one that always felt he gave me the first accountability thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, you better do something. You better do something. You better be somebody. Do something. And overall, I would want to be a good influence to others that feel like they, the chips are down on them, and you know what I'm saying? They can't. You know what I'm saying? I wanna be an influence and also expand the minds of those that came from similar backgrounds as me.
Yeah, I feel that. In a similar sense, I have for like having somebody like look up to you type of mindset. Um, I come from basically a nerdy culture, and typically, I mean, now it's probably nerds are probably coming a little bit more cooler, I think, in my opinion. But but historically, nerds have been the lower class, picked on, the weakest of the bunch type of thing.
Now y'all get all the girls.
I don't know if we get them for the right reasons. And that's another, that one for like when you talked about the father thing, that's something also close for me. It's like I want to eventually find the right person, and where I want to go, I need to find the right person that has the right type of alignment in dreams and understanding of the scope of things. But
Right.
but back to that whole like nerdy thing, you know, that's kind of where I come up from and grew up from, and that helped build a isolation mindset as well. So then when I was isolated all the time and depressed, it felt like I was alone in the world. And then when this magical thing came around called the internet, I was able to connect with a bunch of other people that were also feeling very down and lonely and depressed. And a lot of times they escaped into video games, and that's where I went into. And that's kind of part of where my video game stuff comes from. When I was in school for video game development, I even said that one of my main target goals for the type of games I want to make are for a genre called serious games, which is games for a purpose. But um, touching back to also with to your grandfather's story too. I want to make one of my other grandfathers proud because I feel like I let him down as well. So when I went to school for the video game development, my grandfather co-signed the student loan, and I did not find a job to get me the money needed to help pay the loan off. And this is why I thought, I said I left my real estate marketing job as a front end web developer to do a Minecraft server because I thought, hey, there's going to be money in Minecraft, which there is, by the way, people. But I did not put in the amount of effort and work, and I did not look at the realistic business model of it, etc. I wasn't being able to pay off that fine. Long story short, my great grandparents passed away. They gave my grandparents an inheritance, and then they paid off my student loan. So now I feel like a failure because they paid off a debt that was mine to pay off. So now my pride is at stake as a man because they paid it off and it was my responsibility. But I wasn't even paying any responsibility on it to begin with, and now I feel like even more of a failure because of that as well. So now I have a point to prove that I need to do better to pay them the money back. And even if I don't pay them the money back, let's say I don't make the money back and they somehow, God forbid, they pass away. One of my plans or ideas is that I would love to take that money and build it into a charity into their name. They're big Christians. I'm not a huge Christian, but I would definitely put things into their type of causes because I feel like that would be something in their name.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That is dope. That is dope. Yeah, man. Yo, just after hearing that, I'm going to hold you way more accountable, bro. Do not let that shit go in vain.
Well, we gotta make this process super easy so that way we have no excuses.
We got to make this happen.
Exactly.
We're going to figure out where we want to go in detail and exactly what to do to get there. And we're going to knock them all down one by one, step by step. We're going to talk about it. We're going to share our experience on it. There's other people that could relate, and you might get some good gems out of our experience.
Oh, you'll get a lot of good gems, especially if you guys ask me, want me to do some sort of research into any particular topic. I will go hard as hell into research mode to find the answers for you. And I try to also make it as simple as I can. I think Angel can vouch for that. But literally, the information's out there, but I know a lot of people struggle to find it. And so, if you have any questions, just let us know, and we will get that information to you.
That's what I love about this, man. Like, I love that, like you said, the information is out there, but the internet is a deep sea, and you get lost easy as hell. And in my case, I get paralyzed from being lost at analysis paralysis. And in this route that we're taking, it's going to keep me engaged, keep me in gear towards the right direction that I want to go.
So with that, what is the right direction you'd want to go?
2020, I figure, is going to be my most strategic year. Last year was more exploration, like just exploring. I traveled a lot, and I got a chance to get to know me a little better, get to do all those nonsense things that I didn't get a chance to. Got all that stuff out the way. This year is way more strategy. And my goal ultimately, I won't leave this year without any type of business acquisition. Like I want to purchase property this year. That's on my investment goals. On my business goals, I want Productive Place to be flourishing. To make it happen with Productive Place, I want 100 posts a day, valuable content from all different areas of the net. And personal, like my physical self, I just want to, of course, get more healthier. To me, health is important when it comes to being productive because I can't do shit when I feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends on, exercise, fucking eat right. All these things play a factor when it comes to my effectiveness. So I guess I want to gain about like 10, 20 pounds of muscle
Nice.
in that space. So yeah, that's the direction as far as like this year. Ultimately, I just want to be financially stable enough to invest in creative ideas that I have. Like, I'm into music. I have this crazy good cartoon idea I've been cooking up. And I'm also into movies. And almost forgot to mention when I was talking about health, I'm into health, and I want to have a vegan restaurant. I want to open up a vegan restaurant called the Petty Veggie.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's a lot of, what's that?
Oh, I just said hell yeah on your vegan restaurant.
Yeah, so I've been vegan for over 10, 12 years maybe. So,
I don't know how you do it. I need my animal products, but
after a while, you just don't even, it's like you do it with no effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, it started off as a challenge to me. And then, I just kept it up and then I started seeing some benefits with it.
yeah.
And I just kept it up. Next thing you know, 10 years later.
How did it start as a challenge?
My homeboy went vegan, and I was like, "What the heck does that mean? What do you mean you don't eat meat? What's wrong with you? What the hell is? I thought it was blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought he had officially lost his mind. But then it was kind of like he tested my nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be mad because you don't got the discipline to not do a thing. And I was like, what do you mean? You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? So, I just said, screw that. I'm going to go ahead and, prove this guy wrong. And eventually 1 month turned into, it started off, it was first to be a 1 month challenge. Then 1 month turned into 2, and then turned into 3, and then I gave up and went back to me. I was like, screw that guy, I proved my point. And then I had a double cheeseburger from McDonald's right after, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so I sunk my teeth into this double cheeseburger, and the wrapper, you use the wrapper as like a plate.
Yeah.
Sunk my teeth into the double cheeseburger, right? And the grease dripped down and splattered on the wrapper, and within seconds, it got rock solid. Like, it was solid as hell. It looked like some glue. And I just got so disgusted, bro. And that turned me off from me.
I guess I feel you on when you build up a habit, eventually you start rewiring for that particular thing. So I could
Yeah,
definitely see after a while when you get back to it, you're probably like, but
right. Yeah, it's hard to make that adjustment. I benefited from it. Because ultimately you're forced to eat more vegetables and fruits, right?
yeah,
So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up eating more vegetables and fruits and started going to the gym, and it got the wheels spinning in my head better too. You feel me? So, you know, I no longer feel groggy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a lot of health aspects takes effect in your productivity as well.
neat. I'll have to give like a vegan challenge sometime a try.
I'm gonna give you a challenge. Let's do it. Let's set this up. Give me the vegan challenge.
Yeah. So
Vegan
also,
challenge.
like, what made you want to do a vegan restaurant as well? Just curious.
Oh man. All right. So, um, you know, I realize a lot of people losing their lives for unnecessary reasons. Like, for instance, my mother was not in the best health growing up, and I lost my grandmother on my father's side due to diabetes, and my great grandmother who died after her daughter, which was my grandmother, she lost her life due to breast cancer. And I don't take L's good. I don't take L's good. I don't take losses good.
Yeah.
So I just got sick of sickness. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though a lot of that, and it's like this elephant in the room, a lot of that, people don't take conscious to is what you put in your mouth. You feel me? It's, what you eat. So a lot of that passion came from those problems. I had a friend that died of a heart attack at 25, bro.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Like, what was
and
his lifestyle like? Like, just like us.
Chinese food every day.
Oh man, it's that MSG.
A good old MSG.
Oh man, I shouldn't be laughing, but
I mean, it's normal. It's like it happens all the time, bro. It's like, one of our leading causes of death is heart disease, and these problems could be fixed with a better eating habit. And I'm optimistic with that. And so my goal was to play my part and invest in opening up a restaurant serving fruits and veggies in creative ideas, creative ways that's very tasteful and stuff like that. None of the new fake meat trends, nothing like that, but something that's really good for people and it tastes good too. I'm gonna make it like a fast food spot too, just to get revenge on McDonald's.
that would be pretty dope. The fake meat thing, like the Impossible Burger or Impossible Whopper thing. If I remember
Mm.
correctly, that thing is not very healthy at all.
No,
Like, I
you
think
don't
it's
want to
just
eat
because
anything
it's
fake.
just reprocessed oils or something.
Yeah, it's extra processed.
Yeah,
Extra processed.
extra.
Yeah. That shit is a creative experiment. It bleeds too. Like, come on. Come on. You don't want to eat anything fake.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So how about you though? Like what's your direction?
My direction for
Like how does productive phase keep you in the direction
Oh, okay. So essentially, I feel like I'm always being discouraged by the process of things sometimes.
Mm.
I see like there's a
Okay.
lot of steps that need to be done, and they can be overwhelming. I
Mm-hmm.
also often feel like I'm the only person putting in the work for things, and so I find it hard to get things done, or I feel discouraged when um, I feel like I'm the only one putting in the effort.
Right.
And so when I was like running my Minecraft server in the past, I was mostly dealing with my own depression in there. But that was one of my bigger like factors of why I wasn't really putting in the work that needed to be required. Because if I think if I was still open and I planned everything properly at the beginning, I think I
Mm-hmm.
probably would have been set to kind of going where I wanted to go. But because I failed and fucked that up, I don't know anymore. So,
Mm-hmm.
productive place for me is this place where I'm going to tell myself, like, I need to rebuild these new habits and stop telling myself that I can no longer, uh, I can no longer accept excuses of any sort.
No excuses.
Even if it's my own depression, I can no longer use that as an excuse or a crutch to hold me back.
Nope.
Um, I feel like a lot of times people always tell me that like the stuff that I create, because I do more than just do more than just make video games. I make software, I make websites, I do trippy art. I'm not a super good artist, but I have an artistic soul, okay? And when I create something, I get a lot of good feedback. And a lot of times people say I'm way too talented to be stuck at where I'm at, where it's like right now I'm living in somebody's basement and I don't know how much longer I have there, and I need to be thinking about moving soon. I work at a gas station right now, even though I should be working maybe a tech job, but most of the time
Right.
I have
Right.
issues
We're
with
gonna talk about
authority.
that one day.
Wait, go ahead.
We're gonna talk about that one day. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I mean, I have like issues with authority too. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I have like a work hard, play hard mentality, and I don't see a lot of people having that same type of thing. And a lot of office environments don't support that kind of thing. So I need something that's going to support that, and the only thing that can really work that way is something that I can be able to control. But doing it alone is really shitty. So
Yeah.
having someone like you helps tremendously. It really does. Because you're no longer doing it by yourself. You're no longer um like the workload is no longer nearly as much, and you have someone to be your support system to lift you up when the times get rough. And the times are going to get rough.
Times will get rough.
They always get rough.
Gonna be
But
like,
after every set of darkness, there's a set of light.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're just about there. We just have to keep on grinding through this darkness. And I hope you guys will really enjoy this process of us really just documenting. That's pretty much this whole thing. We're going to give you information on cool stuff. But again, like I really want to stress this, like we don't want to be like everybody else that just does the motivational quotes and just regurgitated trash. Even though a lot of it is valid information in my opinion as well, but it's still like that's what the rest of the people are doing, and we got to be a little bit different. So this
Yeah.
is
It is. completely kind of unorthodox with it. Like, we're not just giving you the same old thing. You know, this is real shit here. You know,
Real shit.
real shit. And we hope that, you guys could participate, even practice the things that we're practicing, and shit.
Or if you have better ideas, let us know too. Maybe we can incorporate them. Like, I'm always open to ideas too.
Right. This is a collective. This is a collective. This is a movement. You know what I'm saying? This is let's not front and act like we don't have vulnerabilities that's keeping us that's in our way. You know what I'm saying? We're here to expose all this stuff and find solutions to these problems to get you there. We all need help. We all need help. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this is a really great opportunity to hop on board and be a part of the team and get places, get things done.
I mean, that's our slogan, right? Get things done.
For real. And we're gonna cover these topics on analysis paralysis. I think we kind of mentioned that a lot in this podcast, in this episode. And also, there's this question. There's something that I'm coming onto as I'm talking, like the reason why people haven't made it to their goals, to their dreams, and all that stuff. And this thing of this air of vulnerability, people afraid to show that they're having a hard time, and everybody want to be perfect, man. But the richest man in the world had these struggles. Saying it was not easy. So yeah, I'm onto something. You're gonna see a blog about it or a post about it really soon. I'm gonna investigate this.
I want to do one for not Tesla, Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he has a lot of like things where he's sitting there where everybody is just pointing fingers at him, or not pointing fingers, but like basically saying that his thing is on a failure and that it's a joke. And he's like basically living at his factory, and he's just like, I have no choice but to continue to go forward. I'm putting everything on this. Like, he's like, I almost risked going bankruptcy, like I think 2 or 3 times already, maybe more. Like everything that he's doing is just so like on the line, and not a whole lot of people understand how much effort and energy and how much pain that is associated with success. And a lot of times people get comfortable with things, and I have been very comfortable with my life where, like, I got one point where I had a girlfriend, and I sat there and I was just like so happy with the relationship that I did not really focus on my professional goals.
I've been there before.
So that is not a good thing. Like, comfort is the enemy. You need to enjoy that, embrace that pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Elon Musk is a good person to learn a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does not stay comfortable, bro. Like, this guy's always doing something else, and something else. It doesn't stop with him. That would be good to cover.
Dude, I already know what video to curate. There's a channel called the Mulligan Brothers on YouTube.
Okay.
Man, they have a lot of good spliced up content of other people's content. They're a good example of content curation, by the way, if anybody wants to know. Mm-hmm. I liked how they do their edits, but they do a lot of Elon Musk ones, and they are phenomenal to watch.
Okay. What's it called?
Mulligan Brothers, if I remember correctly.
The Mulligan Brothers. Okay. I remember we're gonna have a lot. I mean, we have a lot that we could insect onto this out of this podcast. Oh, so all right, so guys, going forward, what we're going to do is we're going to another segment into this this experience or activity or whatever is we're going to do weekly check-ins. We're going to state our goal for the week, and we're going to check in on it the next episode. And
by the way, we should also brainstorm on the current week episode of what the next week's goals might be, or not the yeah, because then when we go in for the check-in, we're talking about exactly did we make those goals or not.
Okay, you want to do that now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you were done explaining, I don't know, but that's pretty much.
I mean, yeah, that's the idea of it. I didn't know that you wanted to just jump into it right now. Okay.
Well, I think it's a pretty cool, clever idea to show people that it does not matter where you're at. You need to be putting in the work, and you can't let anything hold you back. And some people want to see the process. They don't want to see the finished product. There's so many fake people out there trying to say that I have success, and all they're doing is they're renting out these things, or they put in all their money into these fancy lifestyles, but in reality, they're broke as shit.
Yeah.
The thing is, people no longer want to see that flashy end result. They want to see the process. So I think us brainstorming is a perfect way of showing that process. So, I mean, we can jump into it right now, or we can wait till the end of this, but I thought that's me breaking that down.
Oh, the best time is now. You know what I'm saying? The best time for anything is now. Just do it now.
Bet.
So this is
you got your journal?
Got my journal.
All right.
It's like a glass door. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like Subway. You see what we fixing up.
All right. So we talked quite a lot. Really? Let me see. This would be probably week 2 in your journal. I don't know, but it'll be like the weekly milestones.
Okay.
So tomorrow, for me personally, I got to edit this whole thing and have this posted to the social medias and everything, have it syndicated and have some copy for it. So podcast posted for me. But for you, it could be like start chunking it up into like little pieces. After when we're done with this, I'm going to transcribe the audio and get a raw text of this conversation, so you can also quickly skim through the thing, and it'll have timestamps too.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll make it a lot easier. But so you can start coming up with a list of dissected content, and then I can start doing research on articles for supporting stuff. Send those articles to you. So find articles, and send to Angel, and then you can go ahead and start, because you've been doing pretty decent at starting to do more of the writing. And then I'll do the editing of those articles, and we'll post those. And then the other part of the milestones is just consistently post these chunks onto social media.
Okay. Is there a number that you think you should pass out?
There's no real number, I don't think. I think the main thing is just all pieces that we think are relevant, even if they're a small, little message. I also like the stories, so when we were talking about with your grandfather and my grandfather, I think those are nice that we can pull out to show.
Okay.
And then if there's more topics, let's say we talked about something but we didn't go into full detail, we can then find supporting stuff on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. that's kind of what I had in mind too. Is pretty much you send me those files and I'll insect it and pull out a few blog ideas, a few story ideas, some thought-provoking questions and stuff like that, and have all that ready by next episode, right?
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
no.
every Saturday, by the way.
Those are gonna be for us getting the week done for the week,
Mm-hmm.
and then by next episode. Oh, also in the schedule, I think maybe somewhere around Thursday or Friday, we start doing the plan for the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next episode.
Hell yeah. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Well, in this case, on Productive Place, but hey, we're not gonna do as much yelling.
We might.
We might.
But yeah, man. All right, so let's get it, man. Let's get it popping. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, thank
Stay
you.
tuned. Watch us make it shady. You know what I'm saying?
And you can make a change too. Don't think you can't. You can always turn your life around and make the right decisions. And you're never alone. You can always find somebody to have your back. And if you can't, we are always open to be there for you. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Good note for this episode.
Good
See you,
note
pal?
for this episode. All
All
right.
right, now I gotta come up with one now. So, message of the day: if you know better, do better. I'm gonna just leave it like that. That's it.
Bet.
If you know better, you should do better. That's it. However you want to digest that, each his own. Know better, do better. All right.
All right. Peace, guys.
Peace.
Two fingers together when I pass. Peace, God. Seeing you